Hey everyone, J-Rod Plays here, and it's finally time to do the Crota guide. So after all the struggle of contest mode, trying to get through Iriut, trying to get to this point finally where we can get some Crota footage and kind of put together a guide on Crota for those that are new to the encounter or for those that are now just kind of finally getting back into the game after contest mode and getting some rest and taking some much needed time away from Destiny after grinding and grinding. I played with one guy who was like up since noon that launch day, and last time I spoke to him was like at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. So he was just non-stop grinding, hadn't slept, also was stuck at Iriut like a brick wall like I was, and so I felt bad for the guy. But now let's get into the guide so that way we can help anybody else coming behind us get to the point where they can kill Crota, pick up the quest for the Necrochasm, and start making progress on the Necrochasm quest, as well as start picking up cool armor and the red border weapons, including the red border chest as well. And I'll be including that in its own separate video and also in a video which will put a complete guide together for all the encounters 1 through 4. Now at the start of this encounter, you're going to end up in the center room where the Chalice was from Iriut. And it's pretty nostalgic because I can remember being in D1 and starting here and trying to figure out, like, where's Crota? How do we start the Crota encounter? Until finally we figured out that this giant center crystal has a floor with a ring around it, and if you don't stand in the ring or get everybody to stand in the ring, the encounter won't start. So now it's back to pushing AFK people into the ring to start the encounter and trying to get everybody, hey, stand in the middle, what are you doing? Stop running around. Corralling everybody to start the encounter. And so once you do that, Crota will spawn. In this case, he spawns at a different location. Used to spawn right before the Oversoul. Now he spawns right in front of you in that room. And what you'll end up having to do is fight your way out both sides, just like it used to be in the past. And so you'll have 3 and 3 just like normal. You'll end up splitting up and sending 3 to the right and 3 to the left, fighting through knights, fighting through acolytes, and getting to the outside. Once you've reached the outside, the goal is now going to be to pick up the Chalice. The Chalice will be located at the bottom where you would normally deposit it, where the podium is. And when you pick it up, you're going to notice a new debuff at the bottom left corner of your screen called the Presence of Crota. It'll take you by surprise the first time that you get it if you weren't ready for it. What that Presence of Crota does is it prevents you from swapping the Chalice just anywhere. In order to combat this, what you'll have to do is look for little fonts of light in the ground. There's going to be like a pool of light, and it's going to glow up into the air, kind of like a spotlight, so that way you know, hey, that's exactly where we need to go to exchange the Chalice, because while you're in that, the Presence of Crota will dissipate, and then you'll be able to swap the Chalice in that area. So it's a new little wrinkle to the Chalice where you can't just swap it anywhere, and it's also going to include some challenges because sometimes it spawns at an inconvenient location right in front of Crota, in front of some ogres, underneath the wizards, by a sword bearer. So you'll have to make sure that you're clearing the area around that pool of light so that the people that are in there are relatively safe, or you can run over there and put down a healing rift, titan wall, any kind of defensive measure just to make sure that you're safe behind it. Just like in the prior encounter, you're going to want to designate an order in which people swap the Chalice, and that order is going to be determined by who's going to be picking up the swords and who's going to handle the Oversoul. And so when all's said and done, you're going to need 4 people enlightened. You're going to need the 3 people to pick up the swords to be enlightened, because you can't pick up the sword from the sword bearer unless you have the enlightenment buff. And you're going to need the 4th person to be enlightened, because that person's job is going to be to attack the Oversoul with about 5 to 7 seconds left, depending on the weapon they're using, so that way you don't wipe from the Oversoul mechanic, which I'll get into when it comes time to do DPS on Crota. But just keep in mind that that's the group setup. You're going to have 3 sword bearers, 1 person on Oversoul, and the other 2 are going to be floating around and killing those boomer knights in the towers. And so the boomer knights in the towers, really, they don't do a whole lot in this encounter. Their only role is to just be an impedance, and if you don't kill them, things won't spawn in a timely manner. So those 2 people that are not part of the 4-man rotation to get the enlightenment, they'll be killing their boomer knights, and then one of those 2 people will come down and pick up the Chalice off of the 4th person, making them the 5th person, and they're going to take it and drop it back down into the podium where you got it in the first place, at the bottom of the stairs, where the encounter starts for Iriut. So the next question is, how do you obtain a sword? So the way you obtain a sword is after you kill the boomer knights, 2 ogres are going to spawn in, called Revenant Ogres. Now, in challenge mode, they, I believe, were unstoppables, but in regular normal mode, they're just normal Revenant Ogres. I imagine in master mode, they're going to be unstoppables again, so you can get used to playing with the fusion. I was running a fusion with unstoppable fusion because I was actually prepared for unstoppables, and when I was playing normal, I was like, oh, okay, they're just orange bars. And so you kill the orange bars. Once they die, or around the time they're about to die, look around and see if you can spot the sword bearer. Now, in between the Sword Bearer and the Revenant Ogre spawning, wizards will also spawn, so keep an eye out for wizards. You don't want them to just sit around and attack the people that are trying to pass the chalice, or hit people in their back that are not paying attention. You want to try to stay on top of the wizards, hit them with your abilities, get in there and finish them, get them out of the way, because they're just annoyances and they will lock onto you, and they will try to melt you in unison. So now that you are aware of the wizards, now that you've killed the ogres, you're going to look for the Sword Bearer Knight. The Sword Bearer Knight's a big red knight, just like on the bridge, and it's going to come out, and it's going to try to attack the closest person to it. Now, if you already have a sword, they're also not that much of a threat, and so with the Sword Bearer Knight, you can go over to the Sword Bearer Knight, and you can just slam him a couple times, and he'll hit you once, maybe twice, but he shouldn't be able to kill you. However, if the wizards are there and the ogres are there, they could finish you off, so just be careful, watch your health. If you have a sword, because you don't really have a good way to heal yourself, and you don't want to use your abilities, then drop the sword, and then you have to go get enlightened all over again. That just extends the encounter. Just try not to get yourself in that situation. And so now that you have the Sword Bearer out, what I was doing personally, just to add a little tip into the encounter, I was running Cenotaph. And Cenotaph was allowing me to mark the yellow Sword Bearer Knight with my trace rifle, and when the people killed it, whether it be with the sword or whether it be with their weapon, since they were trying to kill it to pick up their sword, they were getting heavy ammo, and I was getting special ammo to continue marking further Sword Bearer Knights. I was also dropping them kind of in the middle of the room so that people could see, hey, they're right in the center, and just run around real quick and make a little circuit and pick up heavy ammo in between the phases. And the reason why that's important is because in this encounter you're going to be using a sword against Crota for DPS, and sword swings eat up a ton of heavy ammo. I was able to go through all my heavy each time through each phase, so you want to make sure that you're doing something to generate heavy ammo, whether it be Aeons, whether it be Cenotaph. You could even double up and you can have somebody with Cenotaph, the other person has Aeons. When they finish the Sword Bearer, you would drop the heavy ammo and get your special, and then they will drop heavy ammo for you, and so it's like a nice little synergy, one person with Aeons, one person with Cenotaph. And I'll also be making a separate video going over the Cenotaph build and some of the things that I do with it, so just look out for that as well as kind of a supplement to this one. And so back to the encounter. You've killed your Sword Bearer, you have your sword. You're going to do that 3 times, collecting 3 swords before you go and start the damage phase. Now the reason you do this is because Crota has a lot of health. You can 1 sword, you can even 2 sword. 1 sword's a little tight, 2 swords is more forgiving. 3 swords is like a guarantee you're going to knock down his shield. And also 3 swords is tied to his challenge, where you have to hit them all at the same time with the swords. And so that's just kind of the strategy that people were setting up because of the challenge mode, and you just carry it over into the new one. So you're going to kill 3 sword bearers with the people having enlightenment, and those enlightenment people, the 3 that are carrying the swords, are going to pick them up and prepare for DPS. Then you're going to send in your warlock with the well, and hopefully you'll have at least 2 warlocks, because the first well can usually get killed by Crota and his slams, so then you want a backup well, so that way if you lose the first one, you're not just getting owned and getting beat down by Crota for the remainder of his DPS phase. You have a second one as a backup. I believe we had 3, but we ended up popping 2 usually at the same time. Sometimes they were spread out, so it worked out really nice, because Crota's hitbox and the way that Crota works with the sword is really janky. Like when you hit him with the heavy attack, sometimes he goes like flying really, really far away, and you go to chase him to do DPS, only for him to rubber band back to where you originally sent him flying from. So very, very janky, super weird how that happens. Just be ready for that. That's a thing that does happen to DPS phase. You just gotta kind of deal with it. Now going back to setting up the damage phase, when you have your swords and you're ready to go and you have your well dropped, the sword people are going to coordinate with each other, and they're going to go 3, 2, 1, and they're going to attack. The ideal attack that's been kind of circulated around Raid Secrets is to do a light attack, which is your left trigger on your controller, right trigger on your controller for a heavy attack, and then both for your super. And then of course you have your keybinds on PC like me, so left mouse button, right mouse button, and then whatever your super button is. I happen to have it on the side of my mouse. And so now that you've done that combo, his shields are going to be down, he's going to stand up, and you're going to DPS him. And if you have your falling guillotine, of course, you're going to do the light attack combo into the heavy attack, because that does the most damage. Again, the heavy attack might send him flying, so just be ready for it to come back. And then you're going to swing, 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 until you actually get your energy back, and then you're going to do the light attack, heavy attack combo again. One thing that will help you with this and the timing is to run Loosened Blade mods. So just keep that in mind, check your mods, make sure you have it set up for that when you're on Crotas running Loosened Blade. And then the next thing you're going to want to also do is that if you happen to be somebody who is running some other type of exotic for whatever reason, you're going to want to run a sword that's got some type of like a spin to win, so like Falling Guillotine, for example, the Iron Banner sword, if you have that particular sword. And there's a couple of other ones that have that ability to do the spin or the area of attack, heavy attack. Those are going to be the swords that you want. You're going to want to be able to build up damage stacks on that, and then spin to take advantage of the damage stacks, and that's kind of how the God Roll Falling Guillotine would do damage. And it falls slightly behind the Lament, but it still does really good damage, and if you have another exotic that you're using that is also going to play into the situation, then that's something that you want to take into account for, that you're going to be running Falling Guillotine because you have this other exotic. And so in the beginning, for example, when I first started this, I was still kind of doing the challenge mode strat where you're running Navigator to protect the person that is kiting Crota, but that person was actually able to survive pretty well without Woven Mail from the Navigator, and they also didn't have strongholds either, so Crota's not that bad on normal mode. On contest mode, you definitely would have needed something like that. You would have needed the Woven Mail, you would have needed strongholds to hold up your guard using Lament, so that way you get Cure, and that way you don't die from the swings, and you're basically nigh indestructible when you're on your Titan doing that. Also, you can throw down sunspots. You can run a Lorelei helmet, for example. If you don't have that, and the Lorelei helmet will give you a sunspot whenever you have that critical damage from a slam attack from Oryx. So that'll help with the kiting as well. And you'll see here too that even as a warlock, even without some of those defensive abilities, I was still able to kite him and actually keep his attention by hiding in one of the side rooms. So you'll see that as he's moving up and down on the center platform area and he's kind of walking toward the Oversoul, you can get him stuck in this weird pathing where he'll start coming at you and then he'll start backing up toward the Oversoul. And then if you expose yourself, he'll either try to attack you with his beam attack and throw these boomer attacks at you, or he'll come up to you to try to sword you. And ideally that's what you want, is for him to try to walk towards you, because then all you do is you duck back into the room, in which he doesn't follow you in anymore. In D1 he actually could follow you into the room to a certain point, which would scare the shit out of you, but in this case he only follows you to a certain point. So at that point you stick back out, he tries to come back, you hop back in, so you kind of play this little cat and mouse with him if you're not somebody who can actually fully take his damage. And so that means that anybody can kite him. A hunter with invis can kite him, get his attention, go invis and hide for a second, and then get his attention back again by shooting at him, and just do that over and over again. Like we said, my warlock, you can do that. If he shoots you, you heal yourself either with a rift or a healing grenade. And then of course the Titan is the ideal one you're going to want to try to distract him with, and so that's kind of how you can distract him. Just another tip, if you're not somebody who has strongholds and Lament, that's just like a nice little adjustment that you can make on the fly if you need to protect somebody. Let's say they have a Chalice spot that's nearby him and they need to make sure that he's not looking at them, so he's not attacking them either with his sword or with his beams that he shoots at you. And so this is a nice stopgap to prevent those people from being killed and give your other distractor time to get back in position if he happens to be one of the people passing the Chalice, which is what was happening with us, is that he would have to leave the assignment on Crota to go get the Chalice because he was part of that rotation. I then believe he was the person that was doing the Oversoul for us, and so that was kind of something that we just had to deal with in our group. Speaking of the Oversoul, let's quickly touch on the Oversoul mechanic. And so the way the Oversoul works is it's kind of a counter to his damage phase. If you shoot the Oversoul at any point and kill it, it'll actually end the damage phase. And so it's kind of a balancing act, is you don't want to kill it early, ending the damage phase, and then leading him to enrage sooner, because you'll have these 3 chances before he goes into his enrage, which will then make it to where he'll increase in damage and start killing everybody. You want to make sure that you're timing the Oversoul, like we talked about earlier, under 10 seconds, ideally under 5 seconds. And that means the person who's tasked with killing the Oversoul is going to want to equip some type of long-range, high-damage weapon, like, for example, Wishender Bow, if they have like a really powerful scout, if they're using something that's going to do a bunch of burst damage that can be done at a long distance with not a lot of damage fall off. So ideally you want to have like scouts, and you want to have snipers, and you want to have things that are designed for that, not like a hand cannon, for example, which can't really keep up and will run out of ammo. You don't want to have like an SMG with terrible range that can't reach out to it. You want to make sure that you're not trying to like sidearm the thing with sidearms that have like 10 range on them, right? You want to make sure that you have something that can really reach out and touch it, not a whole lot of damage fall off, and get a lot of bullets down range so that it dies quickly. And it's kind of squishy, so it should die pretty quickly as long as you have appropriately ranged weapons to do damage to it. And of course, you're just shooting the center of the Oversoul. It's not like super difficult to look at the Oversoul and say, okay, I gotta shoot it in the middle, because that's where it's going to take the damage. And so that's basically the Oversoul mechanic. Try not to kill it too early, try not to kill it too late, try to give it that sweet spot time to where you get as much damage as possible in Crota, pop the Oversoul, and then you're starting back over again the entire phase from the beginning as if you hadn't had that damage phase. So you go down to the middle, you pick up the Chalice, rotate the Chalice between the 4 people, 5th one puts it back, collect your swords, gather back up, drop your wells, do your DPS, rinse and repeat. That's basically the whole fight. One last thing to note when you're getting ready to do the final stand is that Crota will start turning blue and crackling with lightning, and what that means is he's about to do a slam that's going to launch everybody back. So once he's getting ready to hit his final stand, he'll shield up again, he'll turn blue, he'll slam, which you want to make sure you get behind a pillar or you get far enough away that the slam doesn't fling you too far away so that you can get back in quickly, and then from there his shield will come down and you'll have that opportunity to push him and do that last bit of damage and get him through that final stand. So you'll see that here in our kill video that I'm about to post when he does that blue glowing attack, and then just get ready to get back in from there, and you should be able to get him in his final stand and finish him off. And since I make these guides for LFGs and primarily like solo players that are working with LFGs, I'm going to go over a few things to look out for in LFGs to kind of help smooth things out. So when it comes to transferring the Chalice, just like I said in my prior Iryat video, you want to make sure you're speaking loud and clear when it's time for your Chalice to be taken. You also want to coordinate who's going to take the Chalice behind you, so that person can then look for you so that they'll see you standing in the pool of light waiting in order to get the Chalice taken from you. And you want to definitely be in the pool of light early, so that way just in case something happens, if it needs to fly out to you, you're not also late and getting waylaid by something or getting bounced by some piece of geometry and you don't make it into the pool and it's your fault that the Chalice can't be taken and then you die and you have to start the whole Chalice chain again. Thankfully, it's not as unforgiving as Iryat. There's not going to be some crazy timer coming out of nowhere that's going to force you to wipe because you had somebody die with an enlightenment. It's just going to be an inconvenience, and it's also going to make it to where somebody may end up getting themselves killed, trying to get your res, things of that nature. You'll see me in the footage pretty much floating around the middle and killing everything that I can as quickly as I can. Since I was running double special, I was trying to conserve ammo, so I was doing melees on the thralls. I was killing my curse thralls with as little ammo as possible. I was trying to catch them coming out of the 2 doors. They come out of the 2 bottom doors, the number 2 and the 4 doors from the Iryat encounter. And the knights running around will sometimes also catch you by surprise. So you just want to keep an eye out for those so that way you don't get sword swiped at a bad time when you're low health from an exploding thrall, or your low health from a wizard attack. And of course the exploding thrall too, if you're good enough at it, you can blow them up by just hopping over them at a low angle, so that way they think that you're going to be damaged by them, but by the time you're past them with your mobility and speed, their explosion does 0 damage to you and they just wasted their kamikaze attack on you basically. So that's a good way to pop curse thralls if you're getting a little low on ammo. Now of course if you're running Cenotaph like me, that shouldn't be a problem, because as you're making your sweep to get everybody heavy ammo, you'll have a bunch of green ammo fall. Just don't pick it up all at once, so that way you'll have green ammo boxes for you to go pick up when you're done with the Crota damage phase. And of course you need that green ammo to refill your fusion as well, so that way you can use that to take out the ogres and to slow the sword bearers, so the person who's killing them makes it more manageable. But now that we've gone over everything, just enjoy this nice little ending scene of us here. I'm also going to include, since this is like a shorter video with a shorter explanation, the full run of us killing Crota, so you can see what it looks like from the beginning to end. And this is a messy one. Like, I think we ended up with either me killing him by myself or me and one other person killing him by ourselves. Everybody was dead. It was kind of one of those we barely did it, because again, this was an LFG. These guys are not like, you know, day 1 raiders. They barely had a little bit of time in Conquest, and they were like, no thanks. And so they were just trying to get a Crota kill, and they were so excited for their first Crota kill, which was awesome. And you can hear that in their voices as, you know, things are going on, and they're like, yes, it's going to happen. Because it took us a few tries. Like, it wasn't something that we did immediately. It took us a little bit to get some practice in, to get a rhythm in between each other, to figure out a good rotation of who's doing what. I had to volunteer again to make sure that I was covering some key positions for everybody. I even had to take myself myself out of the Chalice rotation at one point, so that my ability to generate ammo with Cenotaph wasn't reduced, because once I had a sword, I couldn't then mark future sword bearers. I was actually getting the first sword, because I was trying to make sure that we were prepared, but that was actually the wrong move, because then I couldn't mark the sword bearers to make ammo for everybody, and we were wiping because we were running out of ammo. So once we made that adjustment, I put myself at the back of the line, and I was basically the last person to get it and then put the Chalice into the pedestal at the bottom. And so then I didn't have enlightenment. My only job was to make sure that there was ammo for sword bearers, or if I needed to get enlightened as a backup, I would get enlightened as a backup and then go out there and get the sword and help bring down the shield that way. So that's kind of how you have to play. You have to be able to be flexible. You have to have that dexterity to do the jobs that either nobody wants to do or that people are struggling in doing, and say, hey, let me take that from you, and why don't you try this and let's see if this works out better. And try to do it as nice as possible, so that way you're not offending people, and telling them, hey, you suck, I'm going to take your job. You don't want to do that. You want to try to be as cordial as possible, because they're just trying to chill and get their stuff done just like you are. I also want to thank, again, all the new subscribers. I keep saying this at the end of every video, but every time I go into my YouTube setup to upload a new video, my subscriber count has jumped like an abnormal amount. So I've got a lot of subscribers coming because of these recent guides, and everybody's interested in the new Crotas in Raid. And again, I'm getting great feedback, and it's much appreciated, and saying like, hey, I really appreciate the way you set up your guide. It's much more in depth and in detail than some of these other ones that just have some stuff playing in the background and has nothing to do with it. Like, I'm on Reddit reading kind of how people are complaining about certain guides, like Rick Heck's guide, where half of the time he's talking about something and the stuff playing in the background isn't even associated with what he's talking about. It's just like some random B-roll that he threw in there, and he's super vague, and he's not really getting to the point in the video until the very end. And even when he does get to the point, he'll like add another 5 minutes of him talking about the point that he just got to and rehashing that. So I try to avoid that. I know my videos can sometimes get a little bit long, like the Ariad video, and it does cover some things like a few times, but I try to make sure that when I do cover kind of the same thing again, I'm either going into more detail the second time, or I'm going into detail the first time and just reviewing it the second time and kind of putting it all together at the end of the video for you in an order in which it's done, kind of an order of operations. And so again, I appreciate the great feedback, all the comments, all the additional suggestions, things that can kind of help me out and give me an idea of where I need to go in making future videos, and any requests for videos. All that's much appreciated, because that'll help me focus on what I'm trying to do for the week, because I love all aspects of the game. I love making guides and helping people out. I really enjoy doing the lore videos. I have the opinion videos and some of the news videos, because some things are important to cover. And so this can kind of help me focus on, hey, what's important this week, because my subscribers and the people looking to see my videos are trying to see these type of videos. That way I can get those out first, either earlier in the week or times in the week in which they're most important, like Friday videos for Friday things. And then I can move on to the other videos once I'm done with those. So thanks again for watching to the end. I really appreciate everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next guide.
Bad Crota. Hit me. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, who's taking Chalice?
They're all going to be meta.
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect
Ogre
you.
on left.
Someone needs to take. Yes, take.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck. Meta can get him.
I picked up an orb instead, but I still got it.
I'll pick it off you, Meta.
And with the sword bearer, he's marked.
Meta, it's bottom right, by the way.
Yep.
Let me know when.
Oh, I shouldn't. Now.
Okay, Jacob, you're gonna be taking it off me. It's top left.
Okay, tell me when.
Okay, I'll let you know when it's a bar. It's a bar.
Little bears in.
Grab it.
Oh shit, this guy's free.
Meta, you
Sword
grab
bearer.
that sword.
Who's grabbing from me?
It's gonna be Zayd.
It's on left. I mean right.
Yeah.
Wait, Jacob.
Okay, Zayd, I'm at a bar. Oh, someone's gotta take Crota away.
Where is it? I got you, I got you.
Pick up.
I got
Okay,
it.
you deposit, Zayd. You deposit.
Yeah.
Or give it to Roz. And then give him light and we give it to Roz. Right in the middle.
Roz.
You want me to take it from you here?
Yeah, let me just fill that up real quick.
Boomers.
Kill
Zayd?
ads.
Weapon?
Boomers.
Alright, Roz, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm coming. Sorry,
Killing my building.
floaty.
Take it back to your boomers too.
Okay.
He's coming this way, by the way.
Oh, thank you. 2.
All right.
I need to get my I need to get mine.
So do we have a sword? Do we have all 3
Boomers,
swords?
No, no,
Weapon?
it was only 2. Sword bears up.
Ogre in middle.
Sword bear.
Dancing with him now. He's marked.
Okay. Good in it?
Okay, we good?
Yep, that's 3 swords.
All right.
Okay. Let's go.
I'll
He's
get
over
the I'll get the well.
Okay.
He's
He's
over
actually
here?
in a good
I
spot.
like
Yeah.
this side. This
Go
feels
for
like
Raz.
OG.
I'm gonna pop off.
Oh, I expunged them.
Jacob, you still got Oversoul?
Yeah.
New well? New well?
I got it.
Fuck, he's still got me out.
I got you. Oh, never mind.
Nice, Jacob.
Jesus. There's so much sliding around. I wish he was not as easy to move.
No, I feel like homie should be like planted.
Yeah, as heavy as he
Boy.
is. Yeah, it's like he's very lightweight. Like his bones are not very heavy.
Let me know, 12. I'll grab a second meta.
Yep.
Alright, last bar.
Okay. You know to take it.
Yeah, take.
Okay. Meta, I'll let you know when I'm a bar away.
Yep.
It's top right.
Does he have a sword bearer
Yeah,
on
I'll
yet
try
to
to
mark?
lead him away.
Yeah, there he is.
Watch out, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright, he's marked. You can take him down.
Okay, I'm a bar away, meta.
Could you imagine that?
Alright, take it.
Take it.
Yeah, take it.
Got it. And now it's where he currently is.
Jacob, we're
So
taking
we'll
it
have to
meta.
lure him away.
I'm taking it for meta.
Yes.
Yep, you're taking it from me, and hopefully I can get him away from it in time.
Tell me when.
Go there now.
You ready?
Grab it now.
Ogre, just nice.
You already have a sword, 12?
Knight's marked.
Yeah.
I'll get the next one.
Okay.
I'm gonna get that.
Is Zayd picking up from
You can grab it, meta. Whatever.
Alright.
Am I picking up from
I'll
Jacob?
get the next one. Yes.
Zayd,
How many
come down.
swords is this?
Not yet. Let me know.
You got it? Does anybody
Go.
need light?
Yes. It's top left, Zayd.
It was like
What's going on?
You're gonna grab it from Panda, Raz.
I can't. He's not on the thingy. Okay.
Yeah, when you.
Oh, it's halfway. That's way. I'm
Yeah.
at the bar.
Jacob,
Yeah,
the boom's on
Crota's
right
making
too.
this.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
almost.
Roz,
almost
you
out of
ready?
line.
Yeah.
Come on.
Pick it up.
And then pause it, Raz.
Ow.
Set.
And then I'll get the last sword.
We still got the
Kill these. Yeah, I want to kill these boomers.
Okay, boomers on right are dead.
Yeah.
Both boomers.
Ogres.
Ogre.
Sword bear. Okay, I got it.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, we're
It's
good.
time for DPS.
All right, I'm gonna get
Whenever
him.
you're ready, Raz.
Yep. I'm
Left
getting him
side,
right now.
left
It's in the air.
It's counting though.
What?
Oh no!
I'm putting well.
Get a new well over here. Oh shit.
New well.
Let me know if you need to put my well.
New
Come
well.
on, we can get him down to that bar.
New well.
I got it, I got it.
Fuck.
Oversoul? Nice. Okay.
It's okay. I have a token for him. I have a token for him.
Alright.
I don't have a token.
I do.
just
I
went
will
that
get him.
way.
I will get him.
I'll get him, I'll get him.
Okay.
Be careful, Zed.
No, I'm good. I have like a lot of...
Yeah. Go kill your boomers. Go kill your boomers.
Yeah, take it. Holy moly, I was...
Finish it. Finish it.
Okay.
I mean, it's in a better spot than last time, but it's still
It
really
is.
Last
high.
bar.
Oh, I actually have heavy ammo this time too.
I'm
Nice.
coming to Take it.
Hit.
Meta, it's right in the middle left.
Yep.
I'll
Right
let you know
behind
when I'm a bar.
Oh yeah, there's
Heavy everywhere.
He's marked.
Alright, I'm a bar meta.
Doesn't have to look.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead.
It's frozen.
I'm gonna have to go again.
Did I
Sword-
take
sword
it
on
too
ground?
early, or was that good?
I'm getting it. I got it.
Alright, I didn't take it too early. Awesome.
You're good. You saved my life too.
I just saw, as I saw you running, and there was an ogre beating you.
Yeah, even the wizards went to like super kill mode. They were trying to do that to me. Both of them.
Oh, come with me to grab it.
Yes,
I have
Jacob.
6
It's
seconds.
top right.
Yep. 3 seconds.
I got you. He can take it off me. He can take it off me.
Awesome.
Oh, I was here.
Fine. It's fine.
I was ready.
It's right in the middle. Watch out for Cody's left side.
I can take it off as well.
Okay. Jacob, let's wall get it.
So
Ogres
I
are up, by the way.
don't get it.
No, you're not getting it. Wall's gonna get it.
Do I get it after the ball?
Yes.
Okay, take it quick.
Just found it perfect,
Take it quick. Take it. Yep, thank you. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Sword on the ground. Sword on the ground.
Got it.
Alright, that's 2 swords. Need one more. Jacob, you're gonna take from wall.
Okay, tell me when.
halfway.
What?
Halfway.
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet. Yeah, come, you're ready for me. Yep, take as soon as you get here.
So now
How's-
just Zed.
How is everybody on heavy?
I'm not gonna drop my
I
sword.
can't tell.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
good though.
I'm gonna grab this sword then, so I'm enlightened. That way we don't have to waste time.
Jade, you're gonna grab it from Jacob. It's in the middle.
Okay, I'm full heavy. Okay, Zed.
Okay. I think you just deposited Zade.
Yep, Zed got it for me.
Jacob, you're enlightened, right?
Yep.
Okay. We just need our last sword.
Is that not it? Oh, I thought that was it.
No, somebody
You have all
snatched
3?
it. Do we have all 3?
Meta
Oh, I got
has
one?
one.
Yeah, okay, we have all 3 then. We're good.
Okay.
Waiting on you, Oz. Wait, kill those boomers first. Kill those boomers first. Kill those boomers on top right. Perfect. Alright,
All right,
you're ready, Roz.
going in.
Pretty well done.
Okay.
Wait for the wells.
Back up, back up,
Wait till
back
it
up.
gets Wait till it gets enraged.
Back up.
Come on, boys, we gotta do it now.
No, well.
Strike
Come on.
sponge? Yeah.
Come on, boys.
Yes.
Sponge.
Come on, boys. We need a
Come on.
well.
Hook him up, boys! Hook him up, boys! Hook him up! Yes!
Got
Yes!
him.
Yes!
Oh my god!
Chaos.
Holy crap!
I got the fucking helmet! Yes!
I got the Abyss Defiant.
I got, throughout this entire raid completion, I got 2 new weapons. And that's it.
Oh! Zen Moment kill clip?
Okay. Okay. That's kind of...